Which college running backs will be the next NFL stars? We're going to talk about that in today's video. As always, like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be putting out fantasy content for you guys all year long. We're going to help you win your fantasy championships, whether you play redraft, dynasty, DFS, whatever it is. We're going to help you win money. We're going to help you win championships. So subscribe. We're here for you all year long. We've been putting out these videos. It is Friday, September 1st when I'm recording all of these. It's the first full weekend of college football. So I'm just kind of putting out 5 guys at each position that I'm kind of watching for that are future 2024 draft prospects, most likely. And obviously they're going to be very high, or they're going to be drafted in our dynasty rookie drafts, hopefully, if they have good seasons this year. I mentioned it in all the videos. This isn't necessarily a top 5 ranking. I think a lot of these guys will fall into my top 5, but I'm not going to really do a ranking until about a month into the we have a month worth of games and some actual on the field things in 2023. And I mentioned it as well as the dynasty players that have the most success, the ones that nail and smash the rookie drafts are the ones that pay attention from September, not the ones that 1 week before their dynasty rookie draft start to take in a bunch of information, not the ones that react to what happens in the NFL draft, which is important, but it's not the be all end all. It's the ones that are following from September, watching the game, scouting, listening to all the information. Perfect example is the Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jonathan Taylor year, where everyone that was watching these two players from September and offseason and combine stuff, everyone knew Jonathan Taylor was the better running back. The ones that didn't were the ones that saw that he went to the Chiefs in the first round and overreacted and drafted him over Jonathan Taylor. And guess what? You're probably disappointed in that. So start paying attention now. We're going to be here all year. We're going to be putting out updates as the college season plays out about who's our favorite targets, who we're liking, who we're not, who's falling, who's rising, all that good stuff. But today we're looking at running backs, and we're going to start with one of 2 Michigan running backs that are in my top 5, Blake Corum. You look at his stats last year, the dude was a stud. Michigan, obviously a good team that likes to run the ball, carried the ball almost 250 times for almost 1,500 yards, 18 touchdowns, only 11 catches and 80 yards. Michigan doesn't throw the ball a whole lot, doesn't throw the ball to their running backs a whole lot. A lot of people think that Blake Corum would have declared had he not had a kind of a late season knee injury. But he did. He had a late season knee injury, missed like the playoffs, I think, the college football playoffs. But a lot of people think he would have been, the second or third best running back, probably the third best running back in this draft class, ahead of Charbonnet and A-Chain, if he had declared, but he didn't. So I really, really like Blake Corum. He is a stud, in my opinion. He had the second highest rushing grade according to PFF last year, behind only Bijan Robinson. He forced a missed tackle on one missed tackle in every 3 rush attempts, which is insane. He averaged over 3.5 yards, almost 4 yards a carry last year after contact, which again is insane. Just think about, you get hit, and that includes the ones where you get tackled right away. You get hit and you're still getting 3.5, 4 yards. Like, that's insane. That's insane. The guy has it all, in my opinion. He is a little bit smaller than you ideally want for a running back. He's 5'8", 200, but we've seen those guys succeed. Look at Austin Eckler. He has everything. He has the vision. He has the balance, the footwork. He has everything, in my opinion. And he can catch the ball more than what he's shown. A lot of times these college offenses don't throw their running backs and they don't showcase their running backs' pass catching skills. I think he can catch better than what his stats show. So I like Blake Corum. I think he's going to be one of the top. I think he's in my top 5 as of now, and he's probably going to be like a top 3 running back in next year's draft class if he plays out that way, if it plays out similar this year. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on to a Wisconsin guy, Braelon Edwards. Braelon Allen from Wisconsin. Wisconsin just churns out these running backs, right? It seems like every 4 years they have another running back being drafted. Every few years, I should say. He has back-to-back 1,200-yard seasons. He did that as a freshman and a sophomore, which is pretty impressive to do that. You're a child, maybe amongst boys, 18, 19 years old, playing against 22-year-olds. That's a big difference. And the dude is just amazing. And what's even more amazing is that Wisconsin faced 8 or more defenders in the box over 60% of their snaps. This was the 4th highest in the entire country. The 3 that were ahead of them was Army, Navy, and the Air Force. And if you know anything about those offenses, all they do is run. They run the triple option, right? They don't have so that's why those 2-3 teams. So basically, on a they face the most 8 men in the box on any non-triple option type of offense. The dude is massive. He's 6'2", 240. You know, you're getting like Derrick Henry size. Intriguing. He's super fun to watch. He's not just like a bruiser smash guy. He has some finesse to his game. He can find open space, open holes. He has some good long breakaway speed. So I really like Braelon Allen. The dude's just a monster, and he could put up 3 straight 1,200-yard seasons. And people are gonna love that size. It's gonna remind them of Derrick Henry. So keep an eye on Braelon Allen. Next, we have another Michigan running back who would have been probably one of the, if not the most productive running back in the entire country if he was not sharing the backfield with Corum. Now, despite that, he still put up almost 1,000 yards. You can see over 990 yards, 7 touchdowns, caught 18 passes for 200 yards. There's a lot of people that actually like Donovan Edwards more than Blake Corum. There's a decent amount of people out there that like Edwards more than Corum. I don't know where I fall yet. I want to see how this season plays out. I think a lot of people like Edwards a little bit more due to his speed. The guy is a burner. The guy has insane breakaway speed, and that plays in the NFL. Speed plays in the NFL, and people are going to like that. You know, he's not blazing fast. I think he runs in like the 4.4s. But like he just seems, he's one of those where you watch him and it's like, yeah, he runs faster than what his 40 time says. You know, I think of like a Derrick Henry. I'm trying to look up Derrick Henry 40-yard dash. He ran a 4.46. Okay. I thought he ran a little bit slower, which is pretty insane for Derrick Henry. But anyways, he's just one of those guys that just seems to run faster than his 40-yard time is. He had 4 runs of 60 or more yards, which just shows that he's an explosive player. He averaged 7 yards a carry. You know, he has pretty good size at 6'2", 202 as well. You know, he's not heavy, but he has good height. He does need to be more patient, in my opinion, and he just wants to showcase his speed all the time. I think he needs to be a little bit more patient, and he'll find a little bit more success, in my opinion. But yeah, the dude's awesome. The dude is awesome, and it'll be fun to watch these 2 guys just carry that Michigan offense once again. It'll be interesting to see like who gets drafted higher out of these 2 guys as well. So I'll be curious to see that. I imagine both of them will come out because it's not a situation where, you know, the guys, Donovan Edwards is sitting behind Corum waiting for his chance. He's being productive. Michigan runs the ball enough to both these guys are going to be potential 1,000-yard rushers. So really like Donovan Edwards. Next, we have maybe the most polarizing running back draft prospect in the entire class is TreVeyon Henderson, Ohio State. Some people have him as the number 1 running back in this coming, you know, potential draft class. I don't know if I'm there yet, to be honest. There's our last guy that I think I might have as the number 1 guy, but TreVeyon Henderson, I can see why people put him as number 1. His freshman year, he absolutely looked the part. The guy was amazing his freshman year. He had the 5-star recruiting label, everything. His quick processing, open space, his agility, he made defenders just look ridiculous and stupid. He's a one-cut type of runner. Everything about him was like, yeah, this guy's the next Ezekiel Elliott type of player, you know? And then last year was kind of weird. He did deal with some injuries. And I don't know. It was just like he wasn't 100% last year. Even when he missed games. He didn't miss a whole lot of games. I think he played in 8, which is more than half the season. And you can see his stats there. You know, obviously good yards per carry, but 170 carries, 570 yards, 4 catches only. But he just didn't look right, in my opinion. There was just something about him. He didn't look right. And I think it was part of the injury. You know, his forced missed tackles dropped from 0.27 in 2021, his freshman year, to 0.14, right? So that means 1 in every 4 carries he was forcing a missed tackle to like 1 in every 7 or 8 carries. That's kind of what it dropped to. And then his yards after contact dropped from 4.3, which is a really good number, 4.3 yards per contact after contact if in 2021 to 2.7 in 2022. So he's just one of those. If he looks more like he did his freshman year, then yeah, he's going to be probably the number 1 prospect in this draft class. But you got to keep in mind now we have 2 years of sample size. 1, he looked fantastic. 1, he just didn't look right. And maybe it was more the injury than we're letting play on. So, but yeah, good size. I don't know if I mentioned it, 5'10", 210. That's like almost perfect, ideal running back size. So going to be on explosive offense. It has 2 stud receivers, a stud tight end. So TreVeyon Henderson, I am interested in watching this year. And then the last guy that I think as of now, again, September 1st, before basically any of these teams have played, Trey Benson, I think, is my number 1 guy. Again, I'm not making this top 5 list necessarily, but I think if I had to, I think Trey Benson would be my number 1 guy right now. Florida State. The guy just kind of he transferred from Oregon, came to Florida State, and had a wonderful 2022 season. Florida State has a lot of good players. They have 2 good receivers I like. They have an intriguing tight end. Their quarterback, who I didn't talk about in the 5, but if I made a list of like 6, he probably would have been the 6th guy. Trey Benson kind of has it all. He has the size, 6'1", 211. He has good breakaway speed, in my opinion. Like long speed is what I should say. I think he runs in like the high 4.3s in terms of his 40 yards. Nothing official, but they can track these things. Obviously, I think he runs in like the high 4.3s is what they're saying. You can see his numbers there. Almost 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 13 catches. To me, he just has it all, man. He has it all. He had the highest missed tackle force per attempt at almost 0.5. I mean, we talked about it with Blake Corum being good at point. I think it was 0.31. We talked about it at TreVeyon Henderson being really good his rookie year at 0.27. Trey Benson is 0.5. That means he's forcing a tackle every 2 carries, forcing a missed tackle every 2 carries. That is insane. That's some of the highest numbers you'll see in terms of PFF recording. But yeah, he just has it all. He has great vision, patience, footwork, everything. He can find the open space. He makes guys miss. He has good enough long speed. He has kind of everything you want as an RB1. So he's my number 1 guy as of now. We'll see how the season shapes out. But that's all I have for you guys today. Again, do your homework. If you want to kill it in your rookie drafts, don't just pay attention after the NFL draft or a week before your Dynasty rookie drafts. Pay attention all year long. That's how you're going to see the ebbs and flows. You're not going to be reactionary. You're going to, when the hype comes out for, Clyde Edwards-Helaire went 31st or 32nd overall to the Chiefs, you're not going to overreact because you're going to be like, you know what? I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but I like this guy more. And I'm going to stick with what I believe in. So, again, we're here all year for you guys. Try to help you win your championships. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys watching. And as always, like the video and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on next